Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, and thanks so much for tuning in this half hour. I'm Aja Goare. President Trump is casting doubt today that the historic meeting planned between him and North Korea's Kim Jong-un will actually happen. CBS's Angelica Alvarez has the details.
South Korean President Moon Jae-in will visit the White House today in an attempt to keep the North Korean summit with the U.S. on track.
Is this summit with North Korea on June 12th going to happen?
Well, as the president often says, Martha, we'll see.
North Korea raised the prospect of canceling the summit over objections to joint U.S.-South Korean military exercises and remarks made by the National Security Advisor John Bolton when he compared Trump's plan to the Libya model.
I think we're looking at the Libya model of 2003-2004. We're also looking at what North Korea itself has committed to previously.
Libya's government collapsed 8 years later after giving up its nuclear weapons, and leader Muammar Gaddafi was overthrown. North Korean state media issued a statement today saying dialogue and saber rattling can never go together and will chill the atmosphere before the planned U.S.-North Korean summit. The White House says President Trump is still committed to holding that summit on June 12th, but will walk away if North Korea isn't ready to completely abandon its nuclear program.
What the president's made clear is that we need complete and verifiable and irreversible denuclearization.
The U.S. plans to keep up all economic and military pressure on Pyongyang. Just today, the USS Milius, an advanced guided missile destroyer, arrived in Japan to protect against any ballistic missile attacks by North Korea. Angelica Alvarez, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump has said he is willing to give Kim Jong-un assurances the U.S. will not overthrow his government if it agrees to a deal. Meanwhile, emergency workers in Hawaii are racing to protect a geothermal power plant near the Kilauea volcano. There is concern that lava could trigger the release of deadly hydrogen sulfate gas. Lava continued its steady advance toward the Puna Geothermal Venture Plant before stalling late Monday. The facility is shut down, but the wells there still present a risk if overrun with the molten rock. Two flows of lava are now pouring into the Pacific Ocean. The volcanic eruption has destroyed more than 40 buildings and forced more than 2,000 people to evacuate. Here in Montana, Governor Bullock's statewide flood disaster declaration allows the state to continue work started by 2 emergency declarations. The disaster declaration issued Monday expires after 20 days. It makes available all necessary state government services, equipment, and suppliers to help those in flooded areas. The National Weather Service reports flooding ranging from minor impacts in agricultural areas and rural roads to major impacts affecting homes, businesses, and major infrastructure in 38 locations across Montana. One person is dead after a floating accident on the Smith River in Cascade County. A caller reported a capsized boat Monday afternoon. Rescue crews responded to the Eden Bridge area south of Great Falls, east of the town of Cascade. The sheriff's office says the initial investigation revealed 3 males were on the Smith River with 2 boats. The 2-man boat rounded a corner and struck a large rock, causing the boat to capsize. One male got to shore and is in good condition, but the other was not able to make it out of the river. Rescue crews recovered the victim's body, but his name has not been released. The section of river is only open to permitted floaters and guides. Permits are awarded annually by lottery. A Helena man on trial for the shooting death of his girlfriend last year found guilty of murder. The jury rendered its verdict Friday, finding Skylar Schneider guilty of deliberate homicide and tampering with evidence. Schneider shot and killed 23-year-old Catherine Spencer last July. Schneider called 911 to report a woman had been shot in a vehicle. When police arrived on scene at 12th Avenue, they found Spencer bleeding from a gunshot wound to the head. Sentencing is set for June 20th. The American Civil Liberties Union is now examining a case along the Montana High Line that may have crossed the line. In a video that's gone viral, a Border Patrol agent working in the Havre area tells 2 U.S. citizens he stopped and detained them because they were speaking Spanish. Anna Suda, who was born in Texas, stopped with a friend at a Havre convenience store last week. They were speaking Spanish when a Border Patrol agent asked to see their documents. The officer said his actions were not racially motivated and eventually let them leave. U.S. Customs and Border Protection says it's now reviewing the incident to ensure the proper policies were followed. The ACLU of Montana argues speaking Spanish is not a valid reason to stop and detain anyone. The future of a proposed bathroom initiative is now in the hands of a Great Falls judge after a hearing Monday. Initiative 183 proposes people would have to use the public restroom that corresponds with the sex indicated on their original birth certificate rather than the sex they identify with. The state argued Monday that the challenge to the proposed measure is premature because the initiative has yet to qualify for a spot on the November ballot. They asked that the case be dismissed. But the ACLU of Montana also claims I-183 is filled with constitutional defects that it says will infringe on the rights of transgender and non-binary Montanans. The judge will issue his ruling at a later date. Another outside group is making significant ad buys in Montana's contested Republican U.S. Senate primary. The ads support State Auditor Matt Rosendale and attack his opponent, former Montana Judge Russell Fagg of Billings. Club for Growth Action has spent over $1 million on both TV and digital ads in Montana this month. The latest ad criticizes Fagg for a sentence he delivered in a 2013 domestic violence case. Fagg calls the ad false and misleading. The campaign also released a statement from the Yellowstone County Attorney saying Fagg imposed the 5-year sentence recommended by prosecutors. Two groups financed by a conservative Illinois billionaire have already spent over $1 million on ads promoting Rosendale. The winner of the four-way Republican primary will take on Democratic U.S. Senator John Tester later this fall. Still ahead on the noon news, travelers at a Texas airport got a wild surprise when they encountered a monkey. We have the details for you about his escape coming up. But first, Brett has our weather forecast. Stay with us.
You're watching MTN News with Aja Goare, Storm Tracker weather with Ed McIntosh, and farm and ranch news from the Northern Egg Network. This is the noon news on Q2, Montana's news leader.